So my name is Lisa Lohan. If you look up my Facebook page, Lisa Victorious Lohan. I know I kind of look like a turtle right now, but I'm coming on here because myself am in hospital due to suicidal issues. If you ever look at the movie Caring for Maya, please watch it, Netflix, Caring for Maya. It is not about the diagnosis. It's about the way the family had been treated by the system, and it's basically what our family is going through currently right now. Strongly advocating on my child's behalf. And the last time I got to see my oldest daughter, the system had taken them away. I had cancer, brain bleed, and eventually my family just fell. We crashed and we've lost everything. We lost everything to a point that we are homeless. And the system came and took our children instead of putting us into emergency housing where we could continue our daughter's care and be with our family and try to repair everything that we've been going through, mostly through the destruction of the systems. I have a daughter that's on high medical needs, who has spinal muscular atrophy type 1. And it's considered the #1 genetic killer in infants. So we have advocated, and 15 years have been very proactive in her care and being able to keep her care going. And she had been stripped away from us, not even presented properly to the courts. She was misrepresented by, not even represented by legal medical lawyers. The judge was not given proper facts of what her medical care is or what her medical needs are. She was just taken. They didn't even know she had a medical care plan. They didn't follow the care plan. In result of not following my daughter's care plan, she ended up drowning in both her lungs. So both her lungs filled up with fluids, and she ended up with a chest tube in her right lung because they're like, oh, we didn't know we're supposed to cough your daughter. We didn't know we're supposed to do chest physio. We didn't know that you guys suction her like this. And because they didn't check her care plan or the priorities of what this high medical fragile child needs. Okay, so then the courts start going, so the other side is building this file of evidence saying, oh, parents are aggressive, parents are mean, parents of domestic family violence. And yes, there has been the domestic family violence between the parents because 15 years of being abused by the system. Example, walk into my daughter's room and she's got a heart rate of 145, crying, beet red, and I'm like, okay, something's wrong with my daughter, 8 a.m. Throughout the day, 14 hours later, everybody called Hugo, her dad, called him from work, convincing him I'm crazy. That's it, trying to tell him that I need to be committed, all that stuff. So shift change comes, 7 p.m. Another nurse comes in. She tells me, Lisa, I believe you. So go home and I will call the doctor, we'll take a look. So 10:30 at night, I get a phone call from the doctor. So this is from 8 a.m. till 10:30 at night. And they said, you know what, she has a split fracture. She has a buckle fracture and 2 split fractures. But I was crazy all day. My son, I kept bringing him in. Pale, clammy, sweaty, coughing. I think he's sick. I was told I was paranoid, hypochondriac. Father's Day, my son passed away. Autopsy comes in. Viral pneumonia that attacked his heart, but I'm a hypochondriac, and then I was told, oh, it was complex after. Myself, go in for a brain bleed, being told to stop crying. I'm a hypochondriac. It's all in my head, just a simple migraine. Turned out it was a brain bleed. Now we advocate for her failed devices and equipment. And now I'm no longer allowed to see my daughter. I have to sign papers that basically tell me that I am not allowed to bring up her concerns while we're there, or if she has a medical concern in the moment, I can't talk about it. I've had the wording of it basically deliberately targets parents, and it doesn't deliberately to say that all these parents are aggressive, so they have to sign and agree to say that this is how they are and they have to behave like this. Considering that they were the ones that had the faulty equipment we spoke up on, and saying, you know what, they were right. They replaced it with a working device. We didn't realize that it wasn't working. We didn't check it. It was our fault. But instead they turned it around to make the situation sound as if we were aggressive. Watch Caring for Maya, Netflix. I'm currently in hospital for suicide. The mother in Caring for Maya did commit suicide. And that's where it does. 15 years of trauma from our system, 15 years. And I'm not going even back to how things had been handled for me as a child that went through parents with addictions, and what I had to survive through, what it was like, and the lack of support then from our systems. Now I'm currently been over 2 weeks and I haven't seen my daughter who's on life support. I'm not allowed to go see her. I'm not allowed to see my other daughter who's been asking for me, asking to have visits and to see me, because we have to sign papers to basically be puppets to their masseteers of actions and just be swept under the carpet and ignored. It's a long going battle that never ends. And yes, there's a lot going on that happened between mine and Hugo's relationship that caused the past 3 years to be causing us lots of arguments and lots of fights. So if you take a lot of stressors and you throw them in and throw them in and throw them in, eventually you start breaking down. And that's exactly what they've done to us. So I'm ending it here. Watch Caring for Maya. You'll be able to understand. Look at how awful it's starting to look from the stress. Watch Caring for Maya. It's not about the diagnosis. It's about what the system is doing to families like us. And I'm not the only one. There are other people who have publicly admitted that they've had trauma, some 18 years, some 15, some 13. And the traumas that you hear from each story are unbelievable from each parent, and how they're deemed and how they're demeanored when advocating for the rights of their child or their medical needs. It's really disgusting. We should have been put into emergency housing instead. I'm still floating around homeless. No one's helping us get into shelters or anything and try to get our kids back or try to repair our family. They're actually completely keep pulling us apart and destructing us, and just want to just keep saying that we're just aggressive instead of saying, look, these parents have been amazing. So we fixed so many errors in between the hospital errors and everything else, but yet we're still being punished. 15 years I never left that child's side. And this is where we're at. Our systems are very broken and they need to change.
And things are right, and you just know there is something in your eyes that brings me home. Cause when there's love, you don't let go. So as long as you're with me, you're not alone, you'll never be. I wanna tell you what I feel and really mean it. I wanna shout it from the rooftops to the sky. Cause if you ever need a friend, you know I'll be it. From tonight until we see the end of